Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another Elliott Wave analysis for XRP. This is going to be another follow-up to our previous video since many have asked for it and where we currently stand in terms of the price action. So please, once again, if you are interested in more of these XRP videos, please make sure to hit that thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So let's get into the technicals. Now, we discussed the possibility of being in a temporary pullback in the prior video, and it looks like we have achieved it for the most part, meaning that maybe we are 60 to 70%, maybe even 100% complete with this actual correction, depending on which of these Fibonacci levels actually do get supported. That is going to be left up to the markets. This is a very important golden Fibonacci zone, something that I'm sure a lot of people are watching, maybe even including you, even if you're not versed in the Elliott Wave Theory. So these levels are going to be so critical to the whole narrative that has been building up for not only the past few weeks that we've been talking about, but also the past few months ever since our January drop. And the reason why is because this is the only time that an actual continuation could actually occur, in my opinion, meaning that we are now at pretty much peak validation for what could be a continuation of the massive bullish scenario. Now, things can change, especially if we do break that $1.60 level, this protected low, this invalidation low. It's going to look not so pretty if we do break these lows and we start breaking down, because that's going to change the outlook entirely, in my opinion, that we're going to be working for far deeper levels. So until that actually happens, I have to remain objectively bullish, because that was originally the narrative, and we are working what is going to be the key point here, correctively. And ladies and gentlemen, it is objectively clear that we are working in strong overlapping characteristic nature, meaning that everything is still working in a series of threes. And this to me is the sole evidence, the key factor basically into why I am still bullish at this current stage, meaning that because everything is working in a series of threes instead of strong 5-wave impulses, this means that we have to remain in a corrective structure for whatever is building up from the top-down analysis using the higher degrees and in the context of the shorter time frames as well. So with that being said, just due to the fact that we have this WXY to the downside, it doesn't change the fact of what's happening on the macro. However, this here is now reaching peak validation, like I said. This move up here to this wave 1, although it didn't portray the best looking motive wave, it does look like there's two ways we can kind of adjust this in terms of how we can have this as a completed wave 1 to the upside. Because remember, the context of this is important. I mean, this could have been a completely different corrective structure where this might be part of a WXYXZ. But right now, since it does look like a possible protected low is in place, to me, this looks subjectively more as a motive wave to the upside. Now, there's two ways we can do it. Doesn't portray the best look, but it is what it is. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a diagonal, ending diagonal for a wave 1. This should be an ending expanding diagonal. What that means is we are looking for a clean 5-wave break to the upside, and right now this is the only way. And I think that if we have this as a possible leading or ending expanding diagonal, this is also a possibility, or we can shift this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, it still works in that same corrective characteristic nature that we're looking for, but overall the implications doesn't really matter, because if we do get ultimately protected above these lows here, above these $1.60 levels at any of these golden Fibonacci levels, this here, the implication in the context of this being a wave 1, 2 is the most important key narrative that we're looking for. And it does look like it. It looks like we are creating some kind of ABC into a W, some kind of combo for wave X, and then we may be looking either at a completion of this 61.8%. We'll see how the follow-up happens. Otherwise, the 78.6 and the 88.6% level, anywhere between the $1.69 levels and the $1.78 levels, is going to be of the ultimate support. And at that point, it's the last resort, ladies and gentlemen. There's just no other way to put it. I think if we do get supported from those levels and we break up, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. But anything below that, it's gonna not look so pretty. But again, everything is about validation, and we're making sure that we want to stay within the proper narrative, and anything that happens in between then, I think right now we are at a very key level that a lot of bulls are interested in buying up, especially key institutions. I'm not sure what can follow up when it comes to the fundamentals, because right now we are in a shaky kind of era when it comes to the geopolitical side of things. The fundamentals are sort of aligning, but I can give a contrarian approach to that, because with all of this happening, especially on the side of the other side of the world, that is that the markets didn't capitulate as many bears have expected. And that is a very interesting kind of key point, right? Usually when you have such a big event happening fundamentally, usually you'll see some kind of capitulation, but interestingly enough, we are actually getting some support at these levels. So that's something to keep an eye on, and what this collective herd psychology is actually building up for. Are we looking for some kind of numbing situation where a lot of people are just thinking that this is going to be brushed off? Is this all theater? Are we just looking for a move to the upside after this? We'll see. But right now, ultimately, the markets are going to be correct. Whatever happens to the upside or to the downside, there's always going to be a reason. And right now, we have to resort down to the technical analysis. And right now, I do think that this 1-2 is the key narrative here that we're going to be looking for. And I do see some further upside when it comes to purely price action. Now, we did also talk about a possible flat idea here. But in my opinion, I think this is now going to become more of an alternative scenario just due to the fact of how this is playing out in terms of time. I think this B wave is quite long in terms of how it's playing out. I would have essentially liked to have it supported here and then move up, but we didn't get that. So I am kind of putting this onto the side. Although it's valid, we'll have to see how markets react at the all-time highs. And if that all-time high does happen, I do still think that we do have a little bit more say into the actual impulse scenario. In fact, this is more of a bullish approach than our previous video, actually. I think that we're going to be working for even more bullish scenario, which is this of 1-2 and then a 1-2 in the making as well. So that is my current update on XRP. If you guys are interested in joining the Patreon or Discord membership, the links are in the description below. We do offer far more periodic updates within those groups. So if you're interested in joining, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll be back with more updates during the week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.